Today's video is basically things that I would have liked to know before getting my first camera. So let's just jump right into it. The first thing is the expectations versus the reality of picking up a camera. Sometimes you hear people saying, myself included, I was one of these people, I'm going to get a better camera and therefore my content is going to look better. Sometimes that could be the case, but it's only going to be the case if you are working on your skills consistently. And I'll give you an example. I had a Sony a7 III for the longest time. I started with Panasonic G7 and then I moved to the G9, but then I switched to Sony. I thought that just by getting the Sony a7 III, my content would have been way better. I came to realize that my content was still looking kind of like the same. Even though the Sony a7 III compared to the G7 or the G9, the difference was abysmal. I don't know if that's how you say that word, but just bear with me. I started realizing that if I didn't learn lighting, color grading, my camera was not going to help me. Just the fact of pressing record or a camera with a bigger sensor or more megapixels was going to help me improve my content, and that was not the truth. It took me a lot of time to figure it out, the things and the steps that I needed to take in order for my skills with my camera to look better. I realized that it's more about your vision, a lot of repetition, and the storytelling that you put on your videos. Nowadays, honestly, with a lot of ChatGPT and AI, which I love those products, don't get me wrong, I use them consistently, but there is a trend. You can see people writing scripts and stuff and it sounds GPT. And the reason I say that is because you need to find authentic and creative ideas that are your own. And the best way to do this stuff is basically talking about your day, your own personality, what are you working on, things like that, things that are authentic to you. You can bounce off ideas out of ChatGPT, but it's not your camera that's gonna take you there. Now, moving forward, these are 4 things that if you decide to learn them, they will definitely improve how your videos look, regarding on the camera that you picked. The first one is lighting. You can literally shoot cinematic content on your iPhone, and now with the iPhone 16 and 17, like those phones are insanely good for videography and photography. But if you don't know anything about lighting, your videos and your photos are gonna look flat. They're not gonna have that dimensionality that characterizes a good versus a bad photo. Second thing, manual settings are your best friend. Learn your skills for the times that you need them. If there's a point where you realize that you have a higher ISO than you need, then you're gonna get noise in your image and stuff like that. The more technical skills that you develop, the better your content is gonna look. But the more technical skills you know, the more mistakes you will see in videos, and the more likely you are going to be to overthink stuff. You gotta kill that perfectionism. Point number 3 is that your eyes develop before your skills do. You can easily realize something that looks good versus something that doesn't look that great, but it's harder for you to make it look like that. That comes with time, that comes with repetition. There's no other way around it. We just need to practice a lot, put a lot of time into things like that. I would suggest to take notes, take actual notes, not like, oh, that looks good to know, you know, like take actual notes, write things down and write why you like them. And once you have those things, try to learn them on your own. That's a really good step forward to finding your style, your way of creating things. And lastly but not least, gear doesn't necessarily will solve your creativity issues. At the end of the day, you could use literally a Nokia phone. They didn't have cameras, but some BlackBerry phones with a little camera. There's a difference though between creating meaningful art and things that you just create because of the conversion. And what I mean by that is like you gotta leave aside your little passion projects, the little things for you to experiment. But if you're trying to live as a full-time content creator, I think that you need to find a system that works for you in order for you to maintain consistency. If you are considering on purchasing a camera right now, I know there is a debate between what camera is better, Canon, Sony, Nikon, or Nikon, whatever. I will personally recommend Sony just because that's what I use. I know that there's a lot of like, why would you recommend that if you don't have, like, Sony is, in my opinion, the best camera for myself, and that works for me, and that's what I'm going to be recommending to people. You know, there's a lot of systems that are years and years old that are cheap that will get the job done. Now, with that out of the way, find the camera that works the best for you. Look up the creators that you look up to, the filmmakers, the cinematographers, and see what they're using and like take that direction. Don't necessarily go for like looking for something that is necessarily cheap, but something that will inspire you and motivate you to keep doing things, because that's also a part of it. There's a lot of times that I had my camera just sitting down taking dust because I didn't feel motivated. And that's when systems come into place and you gotta like work around your systems, but that's a whole topic for another video and how to like maintain consistency throughout your content. I'm trying to keep this series very informal, as if I'm talking with a friend. So if you like this stuff, let me know, by liking, subscribing. Let me know in the comments what you're struggling with. Anything that will help you, I'll be more than happy to do. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace